Arreaga?
Yeah.
I'm white, so I'll say it that way. I'm from Pod Clubhouse, and what are you doing here at San Diego Comic-Con?
So I've been attending San Diego Comic Con. I'm born and raised San Diego. San Diego is my home. I've been attending San Diego Comic Con since '91. Since that was the first year I was in the current convention center. And then I'd say about '98 is the first time I actually exhibited in Comic Con.
Okay.
So since '98 on, I've been an exhibitor of Comic Con, and that's just been. And then I've done other shows around the world, but San Diego is my home. This is what I do here.
Where do people know your work?
Well, everything I do is freelance. I'm a full-on independent, so I mostly like doing independent work for just any small studios, short pages or covers and things like that. So a lot of it is not like a well-known. It's mostly like a local thing.
Okay.
But in the past few years, I had created the unofficial San Diego Comic-Con group on Facebook, which is where most of my traction from where everyone knows me from.
That must be where we met.
Yeah. So so from there, I think the last number I saw, there's 36,000 people in the group.
That's a good group.
Yeah. So and that's where where all the information I post about anything Comic-Con happens, or if there's anything in the city that happens that might affect Comic-Con, good or bad, I post it in there. So.
How did you decide to become an artist?
Well, I think I always had that little bug, that itch, because I remember before kindergarten I was drawing stick figures and I was just doing little doodles on notepads and stuff like that. And then later on, my older brother was actually the comic collector. He's the one that was full into nerd comics, everything. And I remember actually just thumbing through his books and I'm like, wow, people get paid to draw? This is an actual thing they do? And then once I just started getting more into the visuals of comics, I was just like, this is fun. This looks like it's gonna be a great life. So I just, from that point, I think I was in 6th grade. From that point on, I just have been just drawing, and I haven't stopped ever since.
Art school and the whole 9 yards?
Nope, no art school. I'm self-taught. I just trial and error on everything I've done. I've taken an art class in high school, but that was about it. No, everything I've done has been self-taught.
What's your process, or your favorite medium?
I always do prefer the traditional, just regular, straight paper and some good pens. And then if I do any color, I prefer watercolors. I love watercolors.
Really?
Yeah.
That one scares me.
Yeah, and it's funny. I get that a lot, and everyone says they use acrylic and stuff like that, and that scares me. I just love watercolor because of how random it is. I love it can cause a lot of chaos.
All right, it goes where it goes.
Yes, and that's what I love about it. I think that's the great part. So when I do color, it's mostly watercolor based. But more recently, only because of I travel a lot and I have to just do different, go to different places. I've taken up a lot of digital work. When it comes to anything that comes to print, an art print or a book, it's usually digital.
Okay.
But when I do anything commission-wise, everything, it goes back to traditional.
Like a Cintiq or something like that, or iPad?
An iPad, yeah. I use an iPad and Procreate right now. That's my main thing.
It's kind of outdone the Cintiq in terms of affordability and accessibility.
100%. Once I got into digital, when I first started doing digital, I was doing a lot of Cintiq, a lot of Wacom and Photoshop or
But sort of a disconnect between your hand and screen.
Yeah. And when they got better and better, I started grabbing the tablet one where the Wacom where you can actually draw on the screen.
Right.
Moved to that. I was doing that for years. I had that. That was my main for years. And then everyone kind of trickled in and said, no, you need to move to iPad and Procreate. and me being the anti-Apple everything, I was just like, I can't do an iPad. And then finally, one guy just like, take it for the weekend, and you're not gonna turn back. And then, by mistake, I took it, I tried it, and I fell in love with the iPad, with the Procreate, and I got my own, and we went from there, and it's never left my side. And that's So when I do anything that actually goes to print, when it's, like I said, a book, pages, or an art print, it's usually digital. But I go back to traditional when I do like a commission or something.
Do you have any comic artists that you look up to or model after a little bit?
Yes. Well, straight off, I have the Max shirt. And
Right.
Max, the Sam Keith. Sam Keith is probably to go a little bit back, Will Spatasio. It's all the guys from Image who started Image back in the day in the 90s. Will Spatasio was when I picked up one of his books, it was Uncanny X-Men when he was in Marvel. That was like the definitive, like, okay, I'm going to be a comic artist. That was it. That was the point. And I started admiring all the guys, Jim Lee, Todd McFarlane. But my brother was a comic collector, and he had Marvel Comics Presents, which was Sam Keith's run when he was at Marvel. That's what changed my life as far as a styled artist.
Okay.
That just blew my mind, and I realized what style was. And from that point on, like, it just blew up from there. So I've been told that I have a very edgy, dark style, very reminiscent of the 90s artists, but it's just a collection of those guys. Like, I always looked up to them, and that's what I saw. So whenever people see my art, they just see a lot of shadow. It's always dark, no matter what it is. What I love doing is taking like a cute character, like a Care Bear or something, and turn it into my style and give it that grit, but give it that cuteness at the same time. But yeah, that's just my style. Just so that.
Do you know Jay Lee?
Yes, Jay Lee.
That's a very contrasty. He just goes with the black.
100%. Yeah. Jay Lee, Bill Sienkiewicz, those guys. That just raw, really just like you could see the emotion in the actual artwork.
Right.
Those guys. I always looked up to those type of artists because I just love that like chaos in their work. It just says a lot of like what is actually coming through, like how they see the world, and that's what I love about like when I explain my art. I like to tell people it's a great thing that I can actually show you what's in my mind. And that's the great thing about being an artist. So like when I see other visuals, like how chaotic these are, like, wow, I'm seeing what's in your mind. Because is it good or is it bad? Are you okay? Type thing. But but like I say, Jay Lee, Bill Sienkiewicz, and guys like that have always been like.
I met Jay Lee at a signing once, and it was interesting because he's got that style you just described, but he also had a certain vulnerability in person where he wasn't, I would say, any kind of confident, or he was very vulnerable about it. When I said I liked it, he was like, really? It was like, and he wasn't being ironic or anything. He was like, thank you. He was very honest about it.
Yeah, the style wasn't matching the personality.
No.
I've heard that a lot. And same with me, like, because of how dark I make everything.
People make assumptions.
Yeah, I get there's like an intimidation that actually comes with it. But I'm like the most open person. I'm very social. I love talking to everybody. And everybody thinks I'm going to go into this like dark mood or whatever. Like, no, get away from me. I think no, I'm the exact opposite. I would say I have a bright personality in general. Even though like what I wear is dark, like I like dark colors and very moody type stuff.
That's how they sell the T-shirts. They're all black.
Yeah, we don't have a choice. Yeah, exactly. And then in general, like my art, I said, but no, I'm the opposite. I feel that I am much. When you talk to me and you get to know me and we just hang out, whatever, you see that my personality is a lot brighter than my actual artwork. I don't know if it's something in the subliminal in the back that I'm trying to push out, and like darkness and blah blah. But no, I totally relate with that. Like he's not that guy you thought his art was.
No,
portrayed.
yeah, he wasn't Chris Angel or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 100%.
So what if just a random question that I like to ask people to get a personal assessment of who they are. What's your favorite movie?
Oh man, I've been asked that a lot, and I think as the years have gone by, that's become like a harder and harder question to answer. It all usually goes through like genres. I mean, if you say what's your favorite horror movie, I could probably do that.
Okay, let's start there.
I like, I'm like growing up in the 90s and 80s. It's all like those thing.
I was going to say, I mean, if you were to ask me, I would say either Poltergeist or The Thing.
Yeah, again, Poltergeist is one of those little things, but like Thing is like, it's just classic. I mean, it just in general, it's classic.
What about science fiction?
Science fiction. Aliens.
Aliens.
Alien and Aliens back to back. I mean, I always find them like just, close and comparable. So I always have to do. If I watch one, I have to watch the other because I feel like it's just one movie, and I always go for there.
I like the director's cut that has like the little bit longer scenes.
Yes. Yeah. No, I've seen those. Yeah. No, and those are awesome. Yeah. So like science, it'd probably be Alien. Like,
Sweet.
Like that.
Well, now I have a good understanding. You're a very compatible person to me.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Erik. If people wanted to find you and your work, where would they look?
I'm a big Instagram person. Like that's
this will be on Instagram.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
so.
I'm very strong on Instagram. So it's Erik _Arreaga _art.
Okay.
That's a straight out. I'm sure if you just type in Erik Arreaga, my name will pop up anyway. And everything there, messages. I look at all messages. I like to talk to people interested in art, purchasing art, commissions. But that's my main medium of social media right there. So.
All right. Well, it's been very nice talking to you today, Erik.
Thank you.
Thank you.